My beloved child, this is not a coincidence. This is not random. And this is not an ordinary message drifting into your life. January 29 carries a weight in the spirit that few will recognize, but you were guided here for a reason. Archangel Michael is standing at the threshold of this moment, sword drawn not for battle, but for separation. The separation between what was and what is about to begin. Hear this carefully. Once you receive this message, a turning point quietly activates. Nothing dramatic on the surface at first. No loud announcement. No instant fireworks. But beneath the visible world, something shifts in your fader. Heaven marks this day differently for you. You have been feeling it, haven't you? A strange tension in the air. Like something is ending, but you cannot fully explain what. You wake up thinking deeper thoughts. Old memories resurface without warning. You question paths you once felt sure about. This is not confusion. It is transition. And January 29 is the hinge. Archangel Michael says this day is not about speed. It is about alignment. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not being punished. What you are experiencing is divine recalibration. Heaven is repositioning you so what is coming next does not miss you. Listen closely now, because many will scroll past this and never know what brushed against their destiny. What you stayed. That alone tells me your spirit recognized the signal. January 29 is the moment when unseen resistance begins to lose its grip. Things that were delayed on purpose, yes, on purpose, are now released in stages. You were protected from receiving them too early. Had they arrived before now, they would have broken you instead of blessing you. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this clearly. Delay was mercy. Silence was preparation. And the waiting was never empty. There is a door connected to this day. It does not look impressive. It may even look ordinary. But it leads to a different timeline. A timeline where you no longer beg for clarity, because clarity begins to follow you. A timeline where your decisions carry unusual peace, even when they are bold. From this point forward, certain distractions will lose their appeal. You may notice you no longer have the energy for arguments, explanations, or proving yourself. That is not weakness. That is elevation. When you rise, noise fades. Archangel Michael speaks of a turning point that begins after you receive this message, not before. That means your awareness activates it. Your agreement with truth unlocks it. This is why the message feels urgent, almost like a whisper that says, "Pay attention now." You may have felt underestimated for a long time, overlooked, treated as if your patience meant you were powerless. But January 29 flips the narrative quietly. The same people who did not listen will soon notice your absence from old cycles. They will wonder when you changed. The truth is you didn't change. You finally aligned. Something else must be said, and it may feel personal. There is an emotional weight you have been carrying that does not belong to you. Guilt that was transferred. Responsibility that was assumed. Expectations that were never fair. Archangel Michael says this day marks the beginning of release. Not all at once, but steadily. Like chains loosening link by link. Do not rush this process. Do not announce it. Let it unfold. From January 29 onward, your intuition sharpens. You will sense when to speak and when to remain silent, when to move and when to wait. This discernment is a gift being activated now, because where you are going requires wisdom more than force. And hear this, because this is important. What is coming will test your consistency, not your faith. You already believe. That is not the issue. The question will be, can you remain steady when things finally start moving? Can you handle momentum without panicking? Archangel Michael stands as a guardian over this transition. His presence is not emotional. It is firm, protective, and precise. He is ensuring that what steps into your life next comes with boundaries. No more draining connections. No more open doors to what weakens you. January 29 is also a line in the sand. From this day forward, repeating the same cycles will feel unbearable. A discomfort is intentional. Heaven is making old patterns uncomfortable so you do not settle again. If your heart feels strangely calm while hearing this, that is confirmation. If it feels stirred, that is preparation. Either way, you are not here by accident. This message is not for everyone. It is for the one who knows something is changing but needed confirmation. It is for the one who hath been strong in silence. It is for the one who almost gave up, but didn't. And now, before you move on, let this settle. Because what comes next explains how this turning point unfolds and what you must not ignore as it begins to activate. Chosen one, listen closely now that this message has reached you. The turning point has already begun to breathe. January 29 is not just a date on a calendar. It is a spiritual signal that echoes forward. What begins now will not rush, but it will not retreat either. Archangel Michael says this phase is about recognition, not by others first, but by you. You are starting to notice things you once ignored. Patterns, reactions, subtle warnings that used to pass quietly now feel louder. This is not anxiety. This is awareness sharpening. When heaven prepares you for a shift, it trains your senses before it changes your surroundings. There is something important you must understand. Not everyone around you is meant to walk into this next season with you. Some connections were assigned only to the chapter you are closing. That does not make them evil, and it does not make you ungrateful. It simply means the lesson has completed its work. Archangel Michael speaks of emotional cords dissolving now. This may show up as sudden clarity about people you once defended, or a calm detachment from situations that used to drain you. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming clear. And clarity is protection. January 29 marks the moment when excuses lose their power over you. You will feel less tolerant of half-truths, delays without reason, and promises without action. This is because you are being prepared to steward something more precise. Where you are going, confusion would be costly. You may also feel a gentle but persistent push to clean up areas of your life, physically, mentally, spiritually. Old clutter, old habits, even old thoughts that replay without permission. This is not random. Archangel Michael is helping you create space because something new cannot occupy a crowded place. Pay attention to your dreams around this time. Not all will be symbolic, but many will carry emotional residue. Waking up feeling warned, encouraged, or strangely reassured is a sign that guidance is active. Do not dismiss it. Write things down if you can. Patterns will reveal themselves. Now hear this carefully, because this part matters deeply. The turning point does not remove challenges immediately. Instead, it changes how challenges affect you. What once knocked you down will now pass through you without staying. You will recover faster. Think clear. Choose better. That is victory in motion. Archangel Michael emphasizes discipline in this season, not harsh discipline, but gentle consistency. Small decisions will matter more than dramatic gestures. Showing up when you said you would. Resting when your body asks. Saying no without over-explaining. These are not minor things anymore. They are spiritual alignments. There is also a conversation coming that will test your growth. Someone may approach you differently than before. They may sense your shift without understanding it. Do not shrink to make them comfortable. You are not required to return to an old version of yourself to maintain peace. If you feel a quiet confidence beginning to replace self-doubt, let it grow. That confidence is not ego, it is grounded knowing. You are starting to trust yourself again, and that trust is necessary for the next doors to open. This message is resonating with many because the timing is precise. If this is speaking to you, let the algorithm know. Like this video so it reaches others who need confirmation today. Share it with someone who has been feeling stuck but cannot explain why. Comment what this state means to you. Your words may unlock clarity for someone else reading them. Subscribe to this channel so you do not miss what is unfolding next. And if you feel led, join the membership to stay connected as these messages deepen. Archangel Michael also reminds you that community matters now. You were not meant to walk this transition alone. Even silent support carries power. Your engagement is not just interaction. It is alignment. As January 29 settles in, you may notice a strange sense of calm mixed with anticipation, like standing on a bridge between two landscapes. Do not rush to the other side. Let the bridge do its work. Balance is learned here. Something else is shifting quietly, your voice. You will feel less afraid to express what you truly believe, even if your tone remains gentle. Truth spoken calmly carries more authority than truth shouted in fear. This is a skill you are developing now. Archangel Michael says the next phase will require patience, but not passivity. There will be moments where waiting is wisdom and moments where action is obedience. Discernment will guide you, but only if you stay present. Before you move on, take a breath. Let this part settle into you. What comes next will reveal what must be protected during this turning point, and what must never be picked up again. Stay with this message. What is coming will make everything you have felt suddenly make sense. My precious one, receive this gently. Now we move into a deeper layer of what January 29 activates, because this turning point is not only external, it is internal, and it is sacred. Archangel Michael says many people misunderstand transitions because they look for signs outside first. But the real evidence always appears within you before it appears around you. You may notice that your tolerance for self-betrayal is disappearing. Things you once accepted just to keep peace now feel heavy in your chest. That heaviness is not rebellion. It is your spirit refusing to shrink anymore. This is one of the clearest confirmations that the turning point has begun. There is also a truth rising that you avoided before because it felt inconvenient. Perhaps you knew what needed to change, but the cost felt too high. January 29 marks the moment when the cost of staying the same finally outweighs the fear of change. Archangel Michael says this is where courage is born. Not loud courage, but quiet resolve. You are stepping into a season where your inner world must match your prayers. No more asking for affection while clinging to small thinking. No more asking for peace while entertaining chaos. This is not judgment. This is alignment. Heaven is responding to what you are ready to sustain. Pay close attention to how your body responds in this season. Alien in certain environments. Relief in others. Sudden exhaustion after conversations that drain you. These are signaled, not weaknesses. Your discernment is moving from your thoughts into your entire being. Archangel Michael also speaks of restoration of dignity. Some of you were made to feel like you had to beg for a basic respect. That season is closing. You are learning how to stand without performing, how to exist without apologizing. This alone will shift how others treat you. There is something symbolic about January 29 that must be spoken plainly. It represents the end of spiritual isolation. Even if you remain physically alone at times, you will no longer feel abandoned. A steady sense of companionship returns, not always from people, but from purpose. You may notice that your prayers begin to change. Less desperation, more clarity, less explaining, more trusting. This is not because you care less, but because you finally believe you are heard. That belief changes everything. Archangel Michael warns you lovingly here. Do not romanticize the old struggle. It shaped you, yes, but it is not meant to define you forever. Gratitude does not require returning to pain. Honor the lesson, then walk forward. From this point, certain opportunities may appear smaller than expected. Do not dismiss them. Seeds rarely look like forests. What matters is the peace attached to them. If it brings steadiness instead of chaos, pay attention. You are also being taught restraint. Not every truth needs immediate expression. Not every victory needs announcement. Power is being refined in silence right now. That is why things may feel slower than you imagined, but they are deeper. This turning point also resets how you see time. You will stop rushing outcomes and start trusting process. That shift alone will remove unnecessary pressure from your life. Archangel Michael says pressure was never your motivator. Purpose is. If your heart feels emotional right now, let it. Tears are not a setback. They are release. Something old is leaving your system. Let it go without explanation. Now receive this carefully, because it is for those who stayed until this moment. This turning point comes with a spiritual marking. Not everyone sees it, but it is real. Heaven recognizes your endurance. Your name is not forgotten. Your patience is not wasted. Type "I receive the turning point" in the comments if this message is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 8291 has just been released. And now, let me speak directly to those who feel the weight and the beauty of this moment. If you feel a pull in your heart to help this message reach others who are standing on the edge of their own turning point, this is not just support. It is sowing. When you give through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are placing oil into the lamp that keeps this light burning for souls who are still in the dark. I hear the Spirit say, those who water will be watered. Your seed becomes a river that carries this word into homes, hearts, and midnight prayers across the world. This message did not reach you by accident, and your response to it matters more than you realize. This is my invitation to you. Partner with this work now. Let your giving become a prophetic action that says, use me to spread what is true. As you release, I speak blessing over you. May clarity multiply, may provision open, and may peace guard every step you take next. Do it now. Obey the nudge. The links are in the description, and heaven is watching your yes. Stay with me. What comes next reveals what must be guarded carefully as this turning point continues to unfold. Beloved soul, steady your heart as this turning point continues to unfold. Archangel Michael draws your attention to something subtle yet powerful. Protection is now active around what matters most. Not the loud kind that announces itself, but the quiet kind that redirects harm before it reaches you. You may not even notice what was stopped, only that certain problems no longer escalate the way they used to. That is not luck. That is guardianship. This faith requires awareness, because not every test comes as an attack. Some come disguised as invitations. Old habits may knock softly, pretending to be familiar comfort. Old conversations may resurface, sounding harmless, even nostalgic. But your spirit will recognize the difference now. What once felt safe but drained you will feel heavy immediately. Trust that feeling is not suspicion, is discernment. Archangel Michael speaks clearly here. You are learning how to guard your energy without guilt. This is new for you. In the past, you felt responsible for fixing, saving, or carrying others. But this season introduces a sacred boundary. You can care without carrying. You can love without losing yourself. This balance is essential for what is ahead. You may notice that your reactions are changing. Situations that once triggered fear or defensiveness now receive calm responses. That calm is not detachment, it is authority. When you no longer need to react emotionally, you gain control spiritually. This is a sign of maturity, not indifference. There is also a shift happening in how you perceive opposition. You will stop seeing resistance as proof that you are doing something wrong. Instead, you will recognize it as confirmation that movement is happening. Archangel Michael reminds you that doors do not resist those who are meant to stay still. Resistance appears when forward motion begins. Be mindful of comparison in this season. Watching others move faster or appear further ahead can create unnecessary pressure. But remember this: your path has been customized. What would overwhelm someone else has been measured for you, and what blesses you may not make sense to anyone watching from the outside. You are also being trained in patience with results. Immediate outcomes are not the goal right now. Sustainable changes. Heaven is building depth in you, not just speed. That is why things may feel slower, but more solid. Foundations are being reinforced so future success does not collapse under its own weight. Archangel Michael warns gently against self-criticism during this phase. You are not required to perform perfection while learning growth. Mistakes will still happen, but they will no longer define you. Learn quickly, release shame faster, and move forward lighter. Guilt has no assignment in your future. There is something else, being restored quietly, your ability to enjoy peace without waiting for the next problem. For a long time, calm felt suspicious to you, as if trouble must follow. That mindset is being healed now. You are learning that peace can be permanent, not temporary. As this continues, your priorities may rearrange themselves without effort. What once consumed your attention will fade, and what truly matters will take its place naturally. You may spend more time in reflection, creativity, or rest without feeling lazy. That is alignment. Rest is not avoidance when it renews you. Archangel Michael also speaks of truth surfacing gently. You may receive confirmations through unexpected words, quiet realizations, or repeated signs. They will not be dramatic, but they will be consistent. Pay attention to what repeats without forcing itself. Consistency is how truth announces itself. This is also a season of preparation for leadership, whether visible or unseen. Leadership does not always mean standing in front of others. Sometimes it means mastering yourself. How you manage your thoughts, emotions, and reactions now will determine how much responsibility you can carry later. Do not underestimate small acts of obedience. Choosing honesty when it would be easier to stay silent. Choosing rest when you are tempted to overwork. Choosing peace when you could argue. These moments matter more than you know. They are training grounds. You may feel moments of loneliness even as clarity increases. That is temporary. Old connections are falling away before new ones form. Trust the timing. Emptiness is not abandonment when it is making room. Archangel Michael assures you that nothing meant for you will pass you by in this season. You do not need to chase, force, or manipulate outcomes. What aligns will come naturally. What does not align will fade without drama. As you continue forward, Guard your thoughts carefully. Speak kindly to yourself. Treat your process with respect. You are not late. You are not broken. You are becoming precise. Let this settle in you now. The next message reveals how to recognize the exact moment when this turning point becomes visible in your external world, and what action, if any, is required from you when it happens. Stay present. You are closer than you think. Dear one, remain attentive. Now we move into a delicate but powerful phase of this turning point, because what has been shifting within you is preparing to show itself outwardly. Archangel Michael says this is where many people become confused, not because nothing is happening, but because something is happening quietly. Visibility does not always announce itself with noise. Sometimes it arrives as subtle alignment. You may begin to notice small changes in your external world that seem unrelated at first. A conversation that goes differently than expected. A delay that suddenly works in your favor. A closed door that no longer feels painful. These are signals. The environment around you is starting to respond to your internal shift. This is important to hear. Do not force outcomes now. The temptation to help things happen will arise, especially if you have been waiting a long time. But Archangel Michael warns that pushing prematurely can distort what is unfolding naturally. What is meant for you will recognize your readiness without pressure. You are entering a phase where timing matters more than effort. The right action at the wrong time will feel heavy. The right action at the right time will feel strangely effortless. Learn to distinguish between urgency driven by fear and movement guided by peace. There is also a test of trust here. You will be tempted to doubt what you cannot yet see. The mind will ask for proof. But faith at this level is not blind. It is informed by discernment. You have already been given enough confirmation to continue. Do not let impatience rewrite what clarity has already shown you. Archangel Michael speaks of recalibrated expectations. You once imagined outcomes arriving in dramatic ways. Now you will recognize them in steady progress. Sustainability is the new miracle. Consistency is the new breakthrough. And you are learning to value that. Pay attention to how people respond to you now. Some will treat you with more respect without knowing why. Others may pull away, sensing your shift but not understanding it. Do not personalize either response. Both are indicators that your energy has changed. This is also a season where your words carry more weight. Be mindful of what you declare, even casually. Jokes, complaints, and self-criticism hold power when spoken repeatedly. Archangel Michael urges you to speak life, especially over yourself. You are listening, even when you think you are not. You may also feel a growing desire for structure, routines, order, clear boundaries around your time and attention. This is not rigidity, it is stewardship. You are being prepared to handle more, and structure creates space for growth instead of overwhelm. There will be moments when the old version of you tries to reassert itself. Old fears, old doubts, old survival patterns. Do not fight them aggressively. Simply acknowledge them and choose differently. Awareness alone weakens their hold. Archangel Michael reassures you here. You are not starting over. You are continuing from a higher level of understanding. Everything you learned before still matters, but it will no longer control you. Wisdom replaces reaction. Another subtle sign of this turning point is how you handle uncertainty. Where you once panicked, you now pause. Where you once rushed, you now reflect. This pause is powerful. It creates room for divine guidance to enter before decisions are made. Do not mistake stillness for stagnation. Seeds grow underground before breaking the surface. Just because you do not see movement does not mean growth has stopped. In fact, the most important changes are happening where no one else can interfere. Archangel Michael also reminds you to protect your hope. Cynicism may try to appear as realism, especially if you have been disappointed before. But hope does not ignore reality. It anchors you through it. Guard your hope carefully. It is a compass in this season. You may receive an opportunity that requires courage but not desperation. The fear is the main motivator. Wait. If peace accompanies the challenge, proceed. Peace does not mean absence of risk. It means alignment despite it. Rest will continue to be important. Overworking yourself now will dull your discernment. Balance is not optional. It is necessary. You are learning how to move forward without burning out, how to grow without collapsing. As this part settles, understand this truth. You are closer to visible change than you realize. The groundwork has been laid. Internal alignment has been set. What remains is patience paired with attentiveness. Hold this posture gently. Watch it. Listen. Respond, not react. The next message reveals how to recognize the exact sign that confirms this turning point has crossed from preparation into manifestation, and how to respond without fear when it does. Stay open. You are being guided carefully. Beloved, remain present in this moment. Now we arrive at a phase that requires maturity, because the turning point has moved from preparation into participation. Archangel Michael says this is where your cooperation matters most. Not through force, not through anxiety, but through conscious alignment. What is unfolding now responds to how you carry yourself daily. You may notice that situations arise where you are asked to choose differently than before. The same type of challenge, but with a new invitation. Where you once reacted emotionally, you are now given a moment to respond intentionally. These moments may feel small, but they are decisive. Each one confirms which direction you are walking. This season tests consistency more than intensity. Big declarations will matter less than quiet follow-through. Keeping your word to yourself. Finishing what you start. Protecting your peace even when no one is watching. Archangel Michael says these are the actions that stabilize the blessings coming next. Be aware that distractions may increase briefly, not because you are failing, but because momentum attracts interference. Old habits may resurface unexpectedly. Old thoughts may question your progress. Do not panic when this happens. Awareness means they no longer control you. Your discernment is sharpening now. You will sense when something is slightly off, even if it looks right on the surface. Trust that sense. You do not need proof to honor intuition. Discernment rarely argues. It quietly redirects. There is also a lesson unfolding around patience with people. Not everyone will immediately adjust to your growth. Some may test old boundaries unconsciously. This is not an invitation to explain yourself. Calm consistency will teach them more than words ever could. Archangel Michael emphasizes humility in this phase. Not shrinking humility, but grounded humility. Knowing who you are without needing validation. Recognizing your growth without becoming rigid. This balance keeps you teachable and protected. You may also feel a renewed sense of responsibility. Not burden, but stewardship. Caring more about how your choices affect your future. Being intentional with time, energy, and commitments. This is a sign that you are no longer just surviving. You are building. If you find yourself revisiting old goals, you may notice they no longer fit the same way. That is okay. Refinement is not failure. You are allowed to evolve. The vision adjusts as capacity increases. Now hear this clearly, because it matters. Do not isolate yourself emotionally in this phase. Independence is good, but isolation weakens perspective. Allow safe voices, gentle encouragement, and shared wisdom. Strength does not mean carrying everything alone. This message is reaching you at a precise moment. If it resonates, take a moment to support its reach. Like this video so it can find others standing at the same crossroads. Share it with someone who needs reassurance that progress does not have to be loud to be real. Comment with what you are noticing shift in your life. Your words may be confirmation for someone else. Subscribe to this channel to stay connected as these messages continue, and join the membership if you feel led to walk deeper in this season of clarity together. Archangel Michael reminds you that engagement is not just interaction. It is agreement. When you align with truth, you help amplify it. You may feel moments of doubt followed quickly by calm. This fluctuation is normal while the new becomes familiar. Do not judge yourself for it. Growth is not linear, it is layered. Each layer brings stability. Another important note: avoid over-explaining your process to those who are not meant to understand it. Explanation drains energy. Alignment preserves it. You are allowed to be private without being secretive. This is also a time to refine your environment. What you listen to, what you consume, what you allow into your mind matters more now. You are sensitive in a good way. Protect that sensitivity. It is a strength. Archangel Michael speaks of quiet confidence settling into you. Not arrogance, not hesitation. Confidence that rests. This confidence allows you to wait without fear and act without panic. It is one of the clearest signs that the turning point is stabilizing. Hold on for what comes next, because this next layer reveals how to respond when opportunity finally presents itself clearly, and how to recognize whether it is aligned or merely familiar. Trust me, you will want to hear this part, because it protects you from stepping into the wrong door while the right one is opening. Beloved one, listen with discernment. Now we step into a critical phase of this turning point, because clarity is beginning to sharpen, and with clarity comes choice. Archangel Michael says this is where many people hesitate, not because they lack direction, but because they finally see it clearly. Being removes excuses. Once you see, you are responsible for how you respond. Opportunities may now begin to surface more distinctly. Not all at once, and not always in the form you imagined, but clearly enough that you recognize them as invitations rather than coincidences. Some will feel exciting. Others may feel intimidating. Pay close attention to your internal response, because alignment speaks through peace, not pressure. This is where familiarity becomes dangerous. Just because something looks like what you have known does not mean it is meant for you now. Archangel Michael warns that the old path may try to present itself with a new mask. Familiar patterns can feel comfortable even when they no longer serve you. Comfort is not confirmation. You are being trained to distinguish between doors that are open and doors that are aligned. An open door can still lead you backward. An aligned door will stretch you forward while keeping your spirit steady. If something requires you to abandon your values, your peace, or your growth just to enter, it is not sent to you. This phase also brings an internal audit. You may begin to question your motives more deeply. Why do you want this? Is it rooted in healing or in proving something? Is it aligned with who you are becoming or who you used to be? These questions are not meant to confuse you. They are meant to refine you. Archangel Michael speaks strongly here about patience with decision-making. You do not need to rush just because something is available. Availability does not equal assignment. Give yourself permission to pause, pray, reflect, and listen. Silence often reveals more than noise ever could. You may notice that your tolerance for chaos has significantly decreased. Environments that thrive on drama, urgency, or instability will feel exhausting. A discomfort is intentional. Your nervous system is being retrained to recognize peace as normal, not boring. Another sign of this stage is emotional honesty. You are less willing to lie to yourself about what hurts, what you want, and what you need. This honesty may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is freeing. Truth no longer scares you because you are no longer afraid of change. Archangel Michael also reminds you that discernment grows through practice. You may not get every decision perfect, but you will get better at recognizing misalignment faster. Course correction is not failure, it is wisdom in motion. Relationships will continue to adjust now. Some bonds deepen because they are rooted in mutual growth. Others may fade naturally because they were built on versions of you that no longer exist. Let this happen without resistance. Holding on too tightly can delay what is trying to enter. This is also a time when your inner voice becomes more trustworthy. Doubt will still whisper occasionally, but it will no longer dominate. You are learning the difference between fear-based thoughts and intuitive guidance. One feels urgent and heavy. The other feels calm and firm. Archangel Michael encourages you to stay grounded. Do not elevate the outcome above the process. The way you arrive matters as much as where you arrive. Integrity now protects you later. You may feel a growing sense of responsibility toward your future self. Choices feel heavier, not because they are burdensome, but because you understand their impact more clearly. This awareness is a gift. It keeps you from repeating cycles unconsciously. Be careful not to over-spiritualize everything in this phase. Not every challenge is an attack. Not every delay is resistance. Sometimes things take time because they require maturity. Trust the pace without assuming the worst. There will be moments when you feel alone in your perspective. Others may not understand why you are cautious where they would rush, or calm where they would panic. That is okay. You are listening to a different frequency now. Archangel Michael reassures you that you are not missing anything meant for you. What aligns with your growth will wait for your readiness. What does not align will leave without your effort. Release the fear of loss. It no longer serves you. As this part settles, recognize this truth. Your clarity is not meant to isolate you. It is meant to guide you. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming intentional. Stay steady here. What comes next reveals how this turning point stabilizes into a new normal, and how to live without constantly looking over your shoulder at the past. This is where peace stops being occasional and starts becoming your foundation. Keep listening. You are almost there. My beloved child, breathe and receive. Now we arrive at a sacred stabilization point, because this turning point is no longer fragile. It is settling into your life as a new normal. Archangel Michael says this is the stage where peace stops feeling temporary and starts feeling trustworthy. You are no longer waiting for the other shoe to drop. You are learning how to stand without bracing for impact. This phase may feel quieter than expected, and that can be confusing. You thought the turning point would arrive with noise, with dramatic proof, with undeniable evidence. Instead, it comes with steadiness, with clarity that does not shake easily, with days that feel grounded rather than chaotic. Do not underestimate this. Quiet stability is one of the rarest blessings. You may notice that your mind no longer races the way it used to. Thoughts still come, but they do not spiral as easily. Worries arise, but they do not take over. This is not because life suddenly became perfect, but because your inner foundation has strengthened. Archangel Michael says you are no longer living in reaction mode. Another sign of this stabilization is emotional honesty without collapse. You can acknowledge disappointment without losing hope. You can face uncertainty without panic. You can feel sadness without drowning in it. This emotional balance is not accidental. It is the result of everything that has been shifting since January 29. Your relationship with the past is also changing. Old memories may still surface, but they no longer pull you back. They pass through like reminders instead of anchors. You are learning how to remember without reliving. That alone is a form of healing many people never reach. Archangel Michael emphasizes something crucial here. Do not rush to label this season as boring. Peace can feel unfamiliar when chaos was your normal. Stillness can feel empty when you are used to constant survival. But this calm is not emptiness. It is space. Space for creativity, for clarity, for sustainable growth. You may begin to enjoy simple things more deeply. Quiet moments, meaningful conversations, solitude without loneliness. These are signs that your nervous system is healing. Your body is learning that it is safe to rest. That safety allows your intuition to function clearly. There is also a release happening around urgency. You no longer feel pressured to figure everything out immediately. You trust that understanding will come when needed. This trust does not make you passive. It makes you grounded. Grounded people move with precision. Archangel Michael says this is also a season of consolidation. Everything you have learned, endured, and discerned is coming together. You are integrating wisdom, not just collecting it. This integration makes you steady even when circumstances fluctuate. Be mindful here not to self-sabotage peace by reopening doors that have already closed. Familiar chaos can feel tempting when calm feels unfamiliar. But remind yourself how far you have come. You do not need to revisit what nearly broke you just to feel something. You may notice that others respond to you differently now. Some will feel drawn to your calm. Others may feel uncomfortable around it. This is not your responsibility to manage. Let people respond as they will. Your job is to remain aligned. Archangel Michael reassures you that you are no longer in a fragile phase. What has been built in you can withstand pressure. You are not easily shaken anymore. That is why this peace feels different. It is earned. And I'll receive this carefully because it seals this stage. The stabilization comes with a spiritual confirmation for those who are fully present. Type "I stand in peace" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Lesson code 4419 is now activated over your life. And now, let me speak to those who feel the depth of this moment. If your heart recognizes the weight of what had been released and the calm that has replaced it, this is not the time to stay silent. This message is reaching people who are exhausted from surviving and ready to live with intention. When you support this work through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are not funding content. You are fueling clarity for souls who are still searching for solid ground. I hear the Spirit say, those who build altars of generosity will find peace dwelling in their homes. Your giving becomes seed, and that seed becomes shelter for others who need this word. This is not charity. This is obedience aligned with purpose. This is my direct invitation to you. Act now. Let your support become a prophetic response that says, let this message go further than me. As you release, I speak blessing over you. May peace multiply, may stability deepen, and may provision meet you without stress. Do it now. The links are in the description. Heaven honors alignment. Remain here. What comes next reveals how to live forward without fear of regression, and how to protect this peace as new levels begin to open. This is not the end. is the establishment. Stay with me. Beloved one, anchor yourself here now that peace has settled into your life as something stable and real. Archangel Michael turns your attention to preservation. This is a critical stage, because what has been established must now be protected, not with fear, but with wisdom. Many people lose what they prayed for because they do not learn how to live once survival mode ends. You are being taught differently. This phase is about living forward without constantly checking behind you. You no longer need to scan the horizon for danger the way you once did. That habit was formed in earlier seasons when unpredictability was real. But now, continually looking back will only pull you out of alignment. Trust that what is behind you no longer has authority over what is ahead. You may notice moments where your mind tries to revisit old narratives. Thoughts like, what if this doesn't last? Or what if things go wrong again? These thoughts are not prophecies, they are echoes. They come from memory, not intuition. Archangel Michael urges you not to argue with these thoughts, but to outgrow them. Calmly remind yourself that you are no longer who you were when those fears were formed. Another important shift is happening in how you handle responsibility. You are no longer carrying emotional weight that does not belong to you. You are learning the difference between compassion and burden. Compassion flows. Burden drains. From this point on, you will feel a clear internal signal when something is not yours to hold. This season also teaches you how to enjoy progress without rushing it. You are learning to value rhythm over urgency. Some days will be productive. Others will be reflective. Both are necessary. Balance is not a lack of ambition. It is sustainability. Archangel Michael speaks of a new kind of confidence emerging in you. It is not loud. It does not need to prove itself. It simply knows. This confidence allows you to walk away from conversations, opportunities, and environments that once demanded your validation. You no longer negotiate your worth. Be aware that not everyone will understand this version of you. Some people preferred you when you were more accessible, more explainable, more reactive. Your calm may feel unsettling to those who thrived on your emotional availability. This does not mean you are doing something wrong. It means the dynamic has changed. You are also learning how to let silence work for you. Silence is no longer awkward. It is intentional. You no longer feel the need to fill every gap with explanation. When you stop over-explaining, truth becomes clearer. Those who are meant to understand will. Those who are not will reveal themselves without confrontation. Archangel Michael highlights discernment in commitments during this phase. Just because you can do something does not mean you should. Capacity does not equal assignment. Overcommitting will dilute your peace. Learn to choose what aligns, not what flatters. There is also a strengthening happening in your inner boundaries. Emotional manipulation, guilt-driven requests, and subtle pressure will stand out clearly now. You will recognize when something is attempting to pull you back into an old role. And instead of reacting defensively, you will simply decline. This calm refusal is a form of authority. You may experience moments of grief, not for what you lost, but for how long you lived without this peace. Allow that grief to pass through you. It is part of integration. You are not mourning loss. You are acknowledging growth. Archangel Michael reminds you that growth often requires grieving the old self. The version of you who survived did their job. Honor them. But do not return to their mindset. Survival kept you alive. Alignment teaches you how to live. This phase also invites you to redefine success. It is no longer measured by exhaustion, constant activity, or external approval. Success now looks like clarity, consistency, and inner steadiness. You are building a life that does not require escape. Be careful not to confuse peace with stagnation. You will still be challenged. You will still grow. But challenges will feel constructive instead of chaotic. Growth will feel intentional instead of forced. Archangel Michael assures you that you are no longer in danger of regression unless you abandon awareness. Stay present. Stay honest. Stay grounded. These are your anchors now. As you continue forward, remember this truth. You do not need to protect yourself from the future. You are equipped for it. What is ahead will meet a wiser, calmer, stronger version of you. Let this settle deeply. What comes next will speak about momentum, how movement returns without chaos, and how expansion begins without overwhelming you. This next phase is where things start to open again, but this time, you will not lose yourself in the process. Say here, you are ready for what follows. Beloved soul, stay centered with me now. Momentum begins to return, but it arrives differently than before. Archangel Michael says this is not the chaotic rush you once knew, where everything happened at once and left you overwhelmed. This momentum is measured, intentional, and cooperative. It moves with you, not against you, and learning how to flow with it is essential. You may begin to feel a renewed sense of motivation, not the anxious kind that pushes you to prove something, but a grounded desire to build, to move, to act. Ideas may come more clearly. Plans may feel realistic instead of intimidating. Energy returns, but it is steady, not frantic. This is how aligned expansion feels. Be attentive here, because when movement returns after a long season of stillness, it can be tempting to overdo it. Archangel Michael cautions you to pace yourself. You do not need to make up for lost time. Nothing was lost. Everything you experienced prepared you for this moment. This momentum will test your boundaries gently. Opportunities will ask for your time. People may seek your input. Responsibilities may increase slightly. The key is discernment. Expansion does not require you to say yes to everything. It requires you to say yes to what fits. You are learning how to move forward without abandoning rest. That balance is new for you. In the past, progress came at the cost of exhaustion. And now, progress and peace coexist. If something threatens that balance, it needs to be reconsidered. Archangel Michael also speaks of confidence in execution. You will notice less hesitation once decisions are made. You are no longer second-guessing every step. Doubt may still appear, but it will not paralyze you. You act, adjust, and continue. This flexibility is a sign of maturity. This is also a season of visibility returning, but visibility with boundaries. You will be seen without being exposed, known without being drained, recognized without being consumed. This is important, because where you are going requires sustainability, not burnout. You may feel moments of excitement mixed with caution. That is healthy. Excitement tells you growth is happening. Caution keeps you grounded. Do not suppress either. Let them work together. Archangel Michael reminds you not to underestimate the power of consistency during this phase. Small, repeated actions will create more impact than dramatic, inconsistent effort. What you do daily shapes what you experience long-term. As things begin to move again, it is important to stay connected. If this message is aligning with your current season, engage with it. Like this video so it continues to reach those stepping into momentum after long waiting. Share it with someone who is afraid to move again because past movement hurt them. Comment what you feel stirring inside you. Your words may unlock courage for someone else. Subscribe to this channel to remain anchored as these messages unfold. And if you feel led, join the membership to walk deeper as momentum builds with clarity. Archangel Michael emphasizes that connection matters more during movement than during waiting. Support, wisdom, and shared insight help maintain alignment. You may notice that fear of failure no longer holds the same power. That fear once stopped you from trying. Now, it simply informs you without controlling you. You are willing to begin again if needed. A willingness is strength. This phase also teaches you how to handle success calmly. Small wins will appear. Progress will be noticeable. Do not rush to announce everything. Let results speak over time. Quiet confidence protects momentum. Be mindful of comparison as movement returns. Watching others move faster can trigger unnecessary pressure. Remember, your pace is intentional. Faster is not better if it leads you off course. Alignment always outlasts speed. Archangel Michael reassures you that this momentum is not fragile. It is supported. You are not pushing a boulder uphill anymore. The ground beneath you is level now. Movement feels different because resistance has decreased. There may be moments when old fears attempt to reattach themselves during expansion. Thoughts like, what if I mess this up? Or what if this ends badly? Recognize these as reflexes, not warnings. You have learned. You are not repeating blindly. This is a season of forward motion with awareness. You are awake in your choices, present in your actions, grounded in your purpose. That combination is powerful. Stay here with this truth for a moment. You are allowed to move forward without fear of collapse. What you are building now has roots. Hold on to this. What comes next reveals the deeper purpose behind this momentum, and how it connects to something larger than you imagined. This next message will shift how you see your role in what is unfolding. Keep listening. This is where meaning deepens. Beloved, open your understanding wider now as momentum continues to build. Archangel Michael draws your awareness to something deeper than progress itself. Purpose. Not surface purpose, not titles or outcomes, but the reason your journey unfolded the way it did. This is where many people become uncomfortable, because purpose requires ownership. Once you recognize it, you can no longer pretend you are just drifting through life. You may begin to sense that what you are doing now is connected to something larger than personal success. Your experiences, your patience, your healing were never meant to stop with you. This does not mean you are called to stand on a stage or lead crowds. It means your life carries weight. Your choices ripple outward in ways you may never fully see. Archangel Michael says this is the stage where responsibility becomes sacred, not burdensome. You are not being asked to carry others, but to live in a way that makes clarity possible for those watching quietly. People learn more from who you become than from what you say. This realization may feel sobering at first. You may think, why me? But understand this. You were shaped for this through everything you endured. Nothing was wasted. The confusion, the waiting, the rebuilding, it all refined discernment, compassion, and restraint. These qualities cannot be rushed into existence. They must be earned. You may also feel a growing desire to live more intentionally. Less autopilot. Less numbing. More presence. You want your days to mean something, even the ordinary ones. This desire is not pressure. It is alignment. When purpose activates, meaning becomes important. Archangel Michael also highlights integrity here. Not performative integrity, but quiet consistency between what you believe and how you live. You are becoming less tolerant of contradiction within yourself. This is not perfectionism. It is coherence. your inner and outer worlds are aligning. You may notice that you are more selective with influence now. What you listen to, who you learn from, what you allow to shape your thinking. This discernment protects purpose. Not everything deserves access to you. This phase also invites humility and growth. You recognize how much you have learned, but you are equally aware of how much you do not know. This balance keeps you grounded. Pride closes doors. Humility keeps them open. Archangel Michael reassures you that you are not meant to figure everything out at once. Purpose unfolds in layers. You are only responsible for the layer in front of you. Obedience to the next step matters more than clarity about the entire path. You may feel moments of quiet awe when you reflect on how far you have come. Let that gratitude settle in. Gratitude stabilizes purpose. It reminds you that you did not arrive here alone. This is also where service becomes natural, not forced. Helping others no longer drains you because you are no longer helping from emptiness. You give from overflow, from steadiness, from clarity. That kind of giving sustains itself. Be careful here not to romanticize struggle as proof of worth. Your value is not measured by how much you endure. Ease does not mean you are off track. Sometimes it means you are finally aligned. Archangel Michael speaks of legacy at this stage. Not legacy as in fame, but legacy as in impact. The way you handle conflict. The way you speak truth without cruelty. The way you choose peace over ego. These things outlive moments. You may also notice a shift in how you define strength. Strength now looks like restraint, patience, and wisdom. You no longer admire recklessness or constant intensity. You value depth, stability, and clarity. This stage may feel less emotional than earlier ones. That does not mean it is less important. It means you are operating from understanding instead of reaction. Calm purpose is powerful. Archangel Michael reminds you not to rush toward the next big thing. Let this integration complete its work. Purpose that is rushed becomes performance. Purpose that is integrated becomes life. You are not being elevated to escape humanity. You are being grounded to serve it well. Stay human. Stay honest. Stay present. As this message settles, recognize this truth. Your life is no longer random. Your steps are intentional, even when they feel ordinary. Purpose has begun to guide you quietly. What comes next is the culmination of this journey. The final message reveals how this turning point completes its cycle, and how to walk forward without needing constant confirmation. This is where trust becomes instinct, and alignment becomes lifestyle. Stay with me. The final revelation is approaching. My beloved child, receive this final sealing. Now we arrive at the completion of this turning point, not as an ending, but as a crossing. Archangel Michael says what began on January 29 has now formed a full cycle within you. You are no longer standing at the threshold. You have stepped through. And the most important change is this: you no longer need constant confirmation to keep moving. At the beginning, you needed signs. You needed reassurance. You needed reminders that you were not imagining the shift. That was natural. But now, something deeper has taken root. Trust has moved from your thoughts into your instincts. You sense alignment without needing explanation. You recognize misalignment without needing proof. This is wisdom activated through experience. You will notice that you no longer ask, "Is this right?" as often. Instead, you feel when something is off. You feel when something fits. This inner knowing is quiet but firm. Archangel Michael says this is how spiritual maturity manifests, not through loud certainty, but through steady clarity. The fear of going backward has lost its grip. You understand now that even if challenges arise, you are not returning to who you were. You cannot unlearn what you have integrated. You cannot unknow what you now recognize. Growth has rewired how you respond to life. This does not mean life becomes effortless. It means you become equipped. You will still face decisions, conflicts, and unknowns. But you will face them as someone grounded, not desperate. As someone discerning, not reactive. That difference changes outcomes. You may also realize that you are no longer chasing purpose. Purpose is walking with you. It shows up in how you treat people, how you steward your time, how you choose peace over ego. You no longer need dramatic assignments to feel meaningful. Your life itself carries meaning. Archangel Michael emphasizes something important here. Do not wait for a future version of yourself to begin living well. This is not a rehearsal. This is your life. The calm you feel now is meant to be lived in, not questioned. You are also released from the need to explain your transformation. Some will notice. Some will not. Both are okay. Validation is no longer your fuel. Alignment is. There may be moments when you feel tempted to look back, just to measure how far you have come. Reflection is fine, but do not linger. The past no longer defines your range of motion. You are free to move forward without dragging old narratives behind you. Archangel Michael says this final stage is about embodiment. You are not just understanding truth, you are living it. You are not just hearing guidance, you are responding naturally. This is where spirituality becomes practical and faith becomes grounded. Let this be clear. You are no longer in transition. You are established. The foundation has been laid. The cycle has closed. What comes next will build upon what already exists, not replace it. You may feel a quiet gratitude rising. Not excitement, not adrenaline, gratitude. That gratitude is a sign of integration. It means your spirit recognizes completion. Now receive this sealing, because it marks this journey in the spirit. Type "I walk in alignment" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 9086 is now activated over your life. And now, hear this with clarity and authority. This message did not reach you by accident, and it was not sustained by chance. It is carried by obedience, by sacrifice, and by those who understand that spreading God's word is a holy assignment. When you give through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are not supporting a channel, you are advancing a mission. I hear the Spirit say, those who sow into the word will reap clarity, peace, and provision in their own paths. Your giving becomes seed, and that seed releases light into places you may never see, but heaven records every act of obedience. This is my direct command to you now. Act. Partner with this work. Let your support become a prophetic response that says, I choose to fuel what feeds souls. As you give, I speak blessing over you. May doors open without struggle. May wisdom guard your steps, and may abundance meet you with peace. Do it now. The PayPal and support links are in the description. Obey the nudge. Heaven honors alignment. This turning point is complete. Walk forward. You are ready.